Ladies, is it time for a shift in the look of the modern Mrs. Claus from the look of the past? I'm Santa Bob McMasters, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Live for July 5th, 2022. Tonight, we will find out how many Mrs. Clauses have transitioned from the earlier look and attire of the mop, hat, and floral dress and aprons to a more youthful look and presentation of custom made velvet dresses and outfits to match a lot of special events of their Santas. Our guest has made that transformation and here to tell us how she updated her look and attire. Please stay with us. We have a lot more coming up with our special guest, Mrs. Claus Robin, in just a moment. This is Tuesday Night Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. And right here, let's bring in my co-host and give a big hello to Mr. Spangle.
Hello, Mr. Spangle. Oh, wait, that's me.
You doing good tonight?
I'm doing great. Ready to rock this show, man. Are you ready?
I am ready. And if everyone will, please say hi over in the comment box to our Tuesday Night Live show producer, my daughter, Angela Mack. All right, Spangle, so did you enjoy last week's show, man? And our guest, wasn't he phenomenal?
Yes, I did. And I really learned a lot of things, too. And then, of course, I had to call him, and he took me on as a new client for some insurance stuff, too.
Hey, that's good. That's real good. You know, we can never have too much insurance, as they say. Well, you know, this week of the Tuesday Night Live show is our week 26, season 2. And we have another great show in our Christmas bag for, you know, all of our friends watching tonight. Just a reminder, everyone, all of our live shows are recorded for your convenience and can be seen on YouTube at the Tuesday Night Live Show. If you visit, drop a comment, and don't forget to give us a like, a share, and a subscribe to our channel. First half of tonight's Tuesday Night Live Show trivia is sponsored by Derek Dugan's Sleigh Driver Apparel Company. I want to say thank you to Derek for that. He's out having a good time this week, and we'll be at the School of Santa's with us coming up here in less than 2 weeks now. All right, now for this. A little bit of a sound glitch there. I don't know what's going on unless it's the heat. All right, so tonight's trivia is movie. We stick with the movie theme. In the Santa Claus 2, what artist is parodied by Molly Shannon during her song? What artist is parodied by Molly Shannon during her song? I Feel Like Some Christmas is the name of the song. In the Santa Claus 2, what artist is parodied by Molly Shannon during her song, I Feel Like Some Christmas? And this one is, everybody may know this one, you may not. If not, go ahead and click over there and do a little research, come up with a good answer for us. The winner, that's right, get those fingers working. The winner will be announced tomorrow on the Tuesday Night Live Show Facebook page, as always.
And maybe we should make a little announcement here that Derek is traveling a little while now, and even though he's still going to award the prizes, it may take a little longer to get them.
That is true, and I'm glad you brought that up. He will be out away from his shipping office until after the School of Santa's, which that's going to take him through the 19th or 20th, something like that. So if you happen to win tonight, last week's winner, and the upcoming 2 weeks after this, it will not get shipped until he gets back home into the office where the warehouse is, where he can ship it out. So great point there, Spangle. All right, keep on submitting your answers here. We'll give the answer to this and the other trivia question here towards the end of the show. But at this point, we're going to move along.
The first half of tonight's Tuesday Night Live show is brought to you by Derek Dugan's Slade Driver Apparel Company. You can find Derek's store on etsy.com/shop/Slade Driver Apparel or contact Derek Dugan for all your custom apparel needs. Now back to our show with Bob Spangle and Angela. This is Tuesday Night Live.
All right. Our special guest tonight joins us from Rhode Island, where she lives with her husband, Ralph, of 28 years, has 2 sons, Zach and Greg, and 2 cats named Mickey and Goofy. Yes, she admits to being a Disney fanatic. She is a licensed cancer pharmaceutical technician, balancing a career and life, and still finds time to be active in the Christmas community. Please welcome Mrs. Claus, Robin Ferra.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your broadcast with you guys. It's truly an honor to be here, and there isn't hardly an episode I've missed. I learned a lot from both the Santas and Mrs. Clauses in this forum. It's so important. Education is key.
Well, thank you so much, Robin. You're too kind. I want to say hi and welcome back to the show. You was on our Halloween show last year, and that was such a fun time. Looking forward to this year's Halloween show, looking down the road. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So as a young Mrs. Claus betrayer of 52, I don't like giving away women's age, but you did submit that to us, so I'm using it. I'm not saying that you're a senior citizen, but being in the Christmas community for going on 17 years now, you did get an earlier start than many or most. I mentioned in my opening that you changed your Mrs. Claus image, and the reason was you in your early 40s was dressing more like you were in your 70s. You had mentioned that to us. So, but before we get caught up in all that, let's go on through, and can you tell us about your work at Rogers Williams Cancer Center in Rhode Island, where you are a licensed technician?
Yeah, I work full-time at Roger Williams Medical Center. I have worked there for actually 33 years now, believe it or not. This one job I've been doing. I wouldn't change it for the world. I am a licensed pharmaceutical technician, which means to everybody that I compound cancer drugs for patients in our hospital that receive treatment. And, I know it's not 100% effective, but we can see some advancement, and we're starting to find some cures for people.
Yeah, and it is the best we have to offer at this point, and that is such a noble career to have, and to know that you are making a difference. We really commend you for that. Spangle?
Yes, okay. Now, Robin, how did you first start in the Christmas community? And I hope you remembered to bring us some of that famous Chef hot chocolate.
Yeah, so I guess it was the love of the Polar Express, the local scenery, the Polar Express, Blackstone Valley Tourism. Now, so they were going to host an event, and I was hired as a hot chocolate chef. And I really, on the train, I really enjoyed meeting and visiting with all the children that came on board, and the way their eyes lit up when they heard, the story, and they were drinking their hot chocolate. And then they met Santa and received the first gift of Christmas, that shiny bell. That was great. And seeing the conductor come by, just like the story, and myself being the chef, I guess I knew from that I was hooked, and I stayed with it for 9 years.
Very nice. So how did that transition into you becoming Mrs. Claus, and was it a difficult move for you to make?
Well, so one of the Santas on the Polar Express came up to me and said that I would make a good Mrs. Claus, and I had the heart of it already, seeing that, I was there all the time, never was out. So I really enjoyed, that part. I never really thought too much of being Mrs. Claus, because when I was younger, Mrs. Claus was never around. It was just Santa, and at the department store there was a talking Christmas tree that knew my name, and I was kind of in awe with that. So I was kind of hooked with it, becoming Mrs. Claus.
Well, the conductor guy did get one thing right about you becoming a great Mrs. Claus. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I kind of stuck with it. I was like, it's great.
So, for those of us who don't know, which Polar Express train was this that you was on, and were there several Santas, more than one Santa? I know you mentioned one of the Santas, so I assume there was.
Yeah, it was more Santas. They did 4 shows. So two Santas would go do 2 shows, and two Santas would do another show, and they would come through, and they would get a break because obviously with them handing out the first gift of Christmas to everybody, they had to go do the Santa line and take pictures with everybody because that was part of it. So you had to come off the train and then man the Santa line, taking kids on and off, Santa, making sure they didn't fall off the sleigh, and then, so that's where it took off from there. I got
where was this
hooked.
Polar Express located at?
Yeah, so the Pole Express, it's called the Blackstone Valley Tourism. It's basically done in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. So they buy tickets and they get the show. It's run by Warner Brothers, actually, so they have all the licensing for it. So any kind of stuff you get from it, it's all trademark. They own everything, even how the performance goes on. It's run by them.
That's good information to know in case anyone in the Northeast would like to go and experience that.
Yeah.
At least give them a plug for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you were able to just jump right into the role of Mrs. Claus, or did you already have an idea of what kind of Mrs. Claus you really wanted to be? And I know you've transitioned since then, but at that time.
Well, I didn't jump right in. Oh no, there was a lot of things that I didn't imagine how difficult it would be, in a already established market of Santa, So I needed to try to figure out what kind of Mrs. Claus I would want to be. So I looked at a lot of pictures, and spoke to a lot of Mrs. Clauses online, and met people, and then really put the homework in it. I also followed up with a lot of seamstresses to try to, perfect the look. My first attempt, I'm not gonna lie, I failed miserably. I realized how I was dressing, being a younger person in my early 40s, it wasn't for me. I realized I really couldn't pull it off for my character.
There are so many of as we mentioned in our opener, so many of the Mrs. Clauses that have taken that same thought process and have decided that be yourself, develop your own look. And as you mentioned in your statement that, dress more like your Santa at times. If he's going formal, you want to go formal. And so that's such a great transition. And, we all fail at things we do. And that's how we learn.
Yeah, and it also opens up the door to work with, different things like, working with a photographer, which I was blessed to work with George Allen, and he was able to take pictures of us. You can find him on Facebook, and he has the Santa Studio, and that led to more jobs with photographers, which I never did before.
George is a phenomenal photographer. Yeah. I think in the last 10 years or even maybe more, the Mrs. Claus has really evolved into something a lot bigger than it was, and that's great.
And pictures are so important to market yourself, and you have a good picture and you have a good look, it's key. You're going to get, people are going to notice you more, and, we're putting it all out there on, your website or social media somehow, so, it's getting out there eventually. It takes time. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I am not no expert on this. I am still learning as I go. So.
Very nice.
Hey, Michael, you want to?
What?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think we kind of went through this a little bit about, like, you teased everybody about we teased everybody in the opener about your looks and stuff. Was there something that really set you apart in your looks?
I just realized, looking at the floral prints and stuff like that, it just doesn't, it wasn't me, like I said, so I decided to make, and invest in making custom dresses, and started the change. I do wear mop hats if the client wants me to, and I do wear aprons if, I'm doing a cookie, a bakery kind of thing, then I obviously will wear the apron because it does look the look of a mother, so, but, I just tried to my best to do my part, to make things better for me.
And the best is all we can ask of anybody. Everybody needs to do their best to be the best Christmas performer.
That's
Yeah.
right. And as Spangle mentioned, evolving, Mrs. Claus has evolved not only in the role that she plays, going out as standalone, working with different Santas. I know that you've worked with several different Santas, and we'll talk more about that here next. But even the costuming has changed. So as you mentioned, now you see the big full bell dresses made out of velvet, and the aprons are not just floral like you had mentioned. You can get them in so many different designs, and there's so many good seamstresses out there now that's doing great work that has helped evolve the role of Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, and I feel like, Mrs. Claus, like you guys being Santa Claus, you guys have a standard look. In Mrs. Claus in the history, there's the sky's the limit. You want to wear a brown dress that looks like a gingerbread, you can wear a brown dress that looks like a gingerbread and pull it off. There's no textbook. Everybody has the right to figure out what you think is best for you. We're our own worst critic when we go back and look at our pictures and say, oh my goodness, what in the world was I doing here? My hair wasn't seated correctly. My hat it's too forward, my glasses were crooked and I didn't realize that, so you look back at these pictures and realize, that's the thing,
And we are our worst critics. And, my Mrs. Claus likes to remind me, I see that, but most people probably don't see those things. But as performers, you try to put your best out every time. So we may strive for perfection. We may never achieve it, but we try to get as close as we can. Okay, so Robin, moving along here, I think one of the greatest assets in the rest of the community is having those who love to share their hearts, which is, I think, absolutely the greatest thing about this community. This is true for those that help the new folks coming into our industry, such as mentors. I know that you've worked with a couple of great Santas. You work with Howie Graham now, and you had worked with Santa Bob Murphy, the other Santa Bob, Robert Murphy. Of course, sadly, he passed away last year. Do you still have any mentors, and did you have other mentors? And how did Santa Bob, Robert Murphy, influence you so much early on?
When I first started out with my wonderful mentor, Bob Murphy, Santa Bob, he took me on his wing, and we went and did a lot of photo shoots together. And I went with did a lot of visits with him over time, and I learned by being there and seeing how everything was going. I called him my Papa Claus. He was a very, funny man, loved to be with the children. He always let me jump in and really, let me interact, what he was doing. You know, and he had the true heart of a Santa. He lived and breathed. He had his license plate on his car that said Claus, like some of you guys do. But we had my family, referred him as Papa Claus too. And then, going to another Santa event, I was the same one. I was lucky enough to meet Howard Graham. We just clicked from day one when we met. He brought a different dimension to my performance. He took me out of my shell. I was actually pretty shy, to believe it or not, and he taught me how to be an independent Mrs. Claus. And when I got the chance to work with him whenever I could, which wasn't, it was a little bit, but So that was helpful for me, that we could do that together.
Tell you what, those are two great giants of the industry, Bob and Howie, and you couldn't have asked for better mentorship. Those guys were absolutely, like I said, it's a big loss when we lost Robert Murphy. He was such, like you say, such a nice man, a kind soul, and just bigger than life, as Howie is. All right, so at this point, this is where we normally take a little short breather here, let you catch your breath, and let you, gather your thoughts. And it's time for our Showstopper special product announcement right here. Now, folks, real quick before we jump into this, we used to keep Spangle back in the green room, and he's got something he wants to share with everyone tonight. You want to do that real quick right now before we move on, Spangle?
Sure. I always told them in the green room they ought to have some red and green M&Ms. I mean, come on, this is a Christmas show. I come out here and I start hosting it. What do the hosts got? Red and green M&Ms. They don't have this in the green room. They always put me back there I'd be back there for an hour. Red and green M&Ms. Come on, guys, have them in the green room. They even got this fancy water, North Pole bottling. I'm over there drinking out of the bubbler, trying to get me a drink, and they got these fancy stuff up here.
We only want the best for our co-host.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're going to move along at this point. Jumping reindeer, red and green M&Ms, North Pole water. Stop the show. Here we are at the Showstopper special for this week. StuffForSanta.com. Showstopper special. We'll go straight over to Mr. Clown.
Hey, the Showstopper special is these water bottles. Well, not really the water bottles. They're the labels, just like this. A little sticker label, 2 inches by 8 inches, wraps around a water bottle. North Pole Bottling Company. But check it out. If you go to our website, StuffForSanta.com, these are $10 a pack of 25. If you put on their Tuesday Night Live show in the comments, for every pack you order, we're going to send you 2. You buy 1, we'll send you 2. If you buy 5, we'll send you 10. If you buy 100, we'll probably have to go back to the printer. But hey, we'll get them for you. They're $10 pack of 25. Great. Have them on your set. Looks better than drinking out of a store brand. When I do home visits, I always take a bottle of water unopened, put it in my pocket. When I'm talking to the children, carrying on thing, I take it out, slip it out, and leave it laying somewhere where they don't see it right away. I've had more parents call me and say how excited the children were when they found Santa's water. They put it up on the mantle. They cherish it. It's really cool. This is a Dasani bottle. I mean, you can use any brand of bottle, water. Just wrap it around there. It looks better when you're drinking on a set. $10. Visit the website. Buy 1, we'll get 2. Buy 2, get 4, as the story goes. Thank you, guys. StuffForSanta.com.
And I have used those at the mall, and the kids do go crazy over them. It's a big topic. Of course, they all want one, and so
they just peel right off.
That 200 count don't last long at the mall. So very good. All right. At this point, let's go ahead and keep moving right along. So we're going to move on to the next thing.
You are watching Tuesday Night Live with Bob Spangle and Angela. Sponsored by StuffForSanta.com and SchoolOfSantas.com, where you can find everything you need for your Santa and Mrs. Claus professional business. Remember, if Spangle ain't got it, you just don't need it, or it just don't exist. So contact Spangle today for all your red suit accessories and more. And be sure and tell everyone where you got all that cool stuff. Now back to our show with Bob, Angela, and, of course, more Spangle with trivia fun.
Oh, sorry, guys, trying to get my M&Ms down.
I didn't get any M&Ms.
Well, I'm telling you, that's the green room. That's what I'm saying. Man,
Got a tight budget, guys. We got a tight budget.
Bob's got to up the ante here. I mean, we got look at the guests that we're getting. And I mean, they ought to be serving you dinner. Come on. Anyways, the trivia in the Polar Express. Billy lives close to Hero Boy at. What is the full address in the Polar Express? Billy lives close to Hero Boy at. Let's have the full address.
This has got to be precise, guys, to get the stickers for the water bottle. So make sure that you get the correct answer here. We need the number, the street, and the city and state. So it's going to do a little research, but it's there. It's easy to find.
Look at this stuff. I can't believe they got this stuff up here all this time.
Hey, we had to do something to entice you to come on and be my co-host. I'm having trouble keeping co-hosts here.
Well, I sure do like steak.
Hey, I know.
And lobster.
Yeah.
Yes. Some Rhode Island lobster.
Mm-hmm.
Man, now we're talking. Butter.
Yeah. I'll give you the M&Ms.
Everything's better with butter.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you guys keep working on that, and I just lost my screen here for a moment, so stay with me. Yeah. All right, so give me just a moment.
That's all right. Thanks, Spangle. Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's time to move along to the next part of the show. All right.
You want me to go?
Well, yeah, it's no, it's my question, isn't it? Yeah, it's my question. Okay. And guys, I got to tell you, when my computer acts up or you lose something, this is why you have a written script as a backup. All right, Robin. So let's get back into things, and I want to find out about how many nonprofit events, which is near and dear to your heart, especially the cancer-related events. You said, I guess I look at things differently. It's not all about the money. Giving back to the community far exceeds any money that you can make. Tell us more about a couple of the nonprofits that you enjoy doing and what stands out to you that makes them so special in your mind and heart.
Well, I've worked for Hasbro Children's Hospital and the Tomorrow Fund for the inpatients at Hasbro and then outpatient. I work for Camp Hope, which is a camp when the children are on break from treatment. So not only can the patient go, the sibling can go for a week's worth of summertime fun. And I'm happy to say that it's in July, so I'm able to come and help with the process of them having some really good enjoyment and to take their minds off of what's going on. For the Hasbro, I do a lot of little things for them, with giving them trinkets and stuff to, help them out with what they have going on. I did work for this past season. I worked for a horse farm for young female who were abused, and they use the horses as therapy, and they're able to, take their minds off of that with the horse therapy. So hopefully I'll be doing that again this year, because that was very, very nice and so heartwarming to know that you did something for somebody that, is going through something you have no idea about. So.
Yeah, it's such a brutal disease or time in your life fighting and battling cancer with all the drugs, as you say, and everything. So, just that moment of smiles and showing compassion that you do, it's so heartwarming even to us. Thank you so much for what you do. Spangle?
Yeah. Well, Robin, you was on the committee for the ISC, International Santa Celebration in 2020 that got moved to 2022 in Atlanta. It was in charge of food and hospitality. You said you're really excited to be on the committee for 2024 in Memphis, Tennessee. or any others thinking about volunteering, tell everyone what you love most about that experience and how they can get involved with IVRBS, the ISC, in 2024 in Memphis.
Okay. Well, it was working with the committee members, we got to know one another very well with putting this together after the 4 years of doing this. And then working with everybody that attended the ISC and, getting to know people. I mean, that was key, and if anybody's looking to volunteer or help out with it, they can easily reach out to Stephen Arnold, Howie Graham, James Kelly. You can reach them via Facebook, or you can shoot them an email at info@isc.iburbs.org, and that message will go directly to them and they'll answer whatever you want to do. But volunteerism is very important, and especially with this one coming up, it's going to be a bigger event, and we're going to need more hands on deck to help out.
Did you say that email was info@ibrbs.org?
Yes.
Good, great.
Yes, the IBRBS is continually growing year after year, and each one of the ISCs dating back to the past several, which is biannually, the numbers just seem to skyrocket each time. And, everything that it took to get from 2020 to 2022 to get the ISC off this year, I really think the one in Memphis is going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. And I know how important it is to volunteer for IBRBS. I've volunteered for several years. And if for any reason, anything that you got a moment or two, a few minutes each week that you'd like to give to IBRBS, as she mentioned, reach out to someone in the organization and, let them know that you're interested in donating some of your time and being part of the worthy cause that IBRBS is.
Oh, he corrected me. So, no, I had the website wrong. It's ISCS at info@ibrbs.org.
ISC.info@ibrbs.org.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hey, Stephen is always right there. You cannot believe how many times he has helped me when I was in dire need. Thank you, Stephen. All right, so let's move along again, Robin. When the pandemic hit, it changed the way many of us approached the business. There were many in the industry that turned to doing video or live Zoom visits. Did you also do that, and or a mix of video live visits with some in-person visits? I know some people gave up doing it in person altogether. Some did strictly video, Zoom videos, and others did a mix. Did you do any of that?
Yes, I did my individual stuff on my own with doing with my clients and people I work with, like Hasbro and Camp Hope. I actually had decorate your own cookie kits delivered to them, and we were able to do with my kitchen backdrop. I ended up decorating the cookies with them as they were talking to me. So it was an activity we got to do together. And the regular clients, I was able to, still stay in contact with them and, hook up that visit. And actually, I had COVID. So I was working behind the screen with COVID because I was out of work being a frontline worker. I had COVID for 6 weeks. So I was able to continue doing that. And the highlight of my end of my COVID, the town reached out to me to go on a truck, a fire truck, and wave hi to everybody that was in their houses. So they all came out of their houses and waved hi, and you saw the smiles on their faces. It just, we were all at a low. We all didn't know what to do. And we were all scared about the what if factor of COVID. So that was the end my time being online on a high note, a positive note.
Very good. There's some great comments coming in. I'm not sure if you can see them. F. Angela put a
I
couple.
can.
Yeah. Melissa Lynn says that you're amazing. And of course, your boo Jenny Lynn said that's
My
wonderful.
boo, yes, my best friend.
Give a shout out to Jenny Lynn and as you called OC Carlucci.
The
All right.
OC.
All right. Well, Robin, you mentioned that you have grown as a Mrs. Claus and now get out on your own, doing standalone events as Mrs. Claus. What are some of the things that you do at these events, and what are a couple of your favorite events you've done as a standalone Mrs. Claus, and what made them so special to you?
Well, last year I was able to work at a strip mall. So I was at a gazebo. I did reading, a Christmas book to the children. So I did that for 3 Sundays in the cold because we had to be outdoors because of COVID. And so I read them books, and they ended up taking pictures with me afterwards, and that was great. After that, I was able to do. I did an artesian fair, and I was able to take meet and greet and take pictures with the children, stuff like that. And one of the children came up to me, and I worked with him at Camp Hope, and I asked him if he wanted the candy cane. He's like, no, I'm going through chemotherapy. I can't because of the dye and stuff. And I said, all right, yeah, that's understandable. But for the time being, how about you take a picture at Mrs. Claus? And he goes, no offense, I already met the real Mrs. Claus. And I'm like, oh, you did? And then I picked up my phone and I showed him a picture of him and I together. And it just knocked his socks off. He just couldn't believe that I was that Mrs. Claus that he met, and in the right place at the right time, kind of thing.
That's really cool. And that's good when you can really get their hearts like that. So, as you're growing up, what was your all-time favorite Christmas gift?
Well, it was the Cabbage Patch doll that was the hot toy for the item. So my parents stood in line at Child World to get it, and I didn't think I was going to get it because everybody wanted one. And then to little of my surprise, I did get one, and I was a proud mother of Cabbage Patch doll. And then as an adult, my favorite present was a replica of the White Christmas dress, which, being a Mrs. Claus, that was amazing. And I cried like a baby because of it.
Very, very nice. Okay, let's throw some multiple questions at you, and kind of easy answers maybe. Well, number one, what would be your favorite Christmas cookie or dessert? 2, favorite Christmas smell that takes you back to your childhood, which might be them cookies baking, and your getaway place the week after Christmas. I don't know if you're eating those cookies on the beach or where it might be.
All right. So my favorite dessert is something my grandmother made. It's called a graham pie. It has meringue and like an egg custard, and it has graham cracker crust. So she called it always the graham pie. My favorite smell, when I was a young child, is the fresh Christmas tree, the smell of fresh pine. And as it goes for going away for Christmas, the day after Christmas, actually this year, the whole family of all of us, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, all 24, we're all going to Florida the day after Christmas.
Well, that sounds like a beach trip.
It is a beach trip. So, and I don't tan, I burn. So.
Well, being in the Northeast where all the snow is and putting up with that, as we were talking in the green room earlier about your winters, I tell you what, the beach is a great choice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love my vitamin C.
Hey, that's something we all need. And if you can't get outside to take it, you can always do supplements, but it's not the same. It's the mental part of that being outside that really makes a difference. That the tablet cannot, or the liquid. All right, Robin. Right. So right here, let's go out to our viewers and see if anyone has any questions or comments for you. If so, please put those in the comment box so we can throw them up here. Rex Ray, sorry. I was going to read what Rex had put up.
He said his favorite place is down there in Florida. I wonder if that was an invite.
Hey, it might be. You know, I'll tell you what, I could sit out in Rex's place there out back and watch the woodpecker and all the different wildlife that
Birds.
he up to the fair. I enjoy those pictures and the stuff he puts up every day.
I want to go driving around in his car.
Well, yeah, that too. That's a sweet ride he has there for sure. Maybe we get together and go down and he put a parade together and we go out in the car and ride through the parade.
Yes.
Melissa Glenn says you are such an inspiration, Robin.
Oh, thank you. I so enjoyed meeting her when we talked for a little bit. She's an amazing person.
She is, and we were talking earlier about the ISC, excuse me, the School of Santas. She's won one of the scholarships that we gave away, and so she'll be at Branson here in a couple of weeks. We'll be there with her. I said wished you was coming, but maybe next time.
Oh.
All right. Any other questions or comments that you'd like to have at this point before we move along? I don't
see anything from my Santa. He's gonna be putting time out.
All right. Well, everyone stay with us because it's time for this week's POV, point of view. And tonight's Robin's point of view segment is titled, "What Would I Like to Tell Other Mrs. Clauses?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, Tammy.
Let's do this real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So, producer says, let's go ahead and address this real quick. Tammy Huffman Cohen says, can you tell us what stands out most about your career as Mrs. Claus? Learning moment.
My learning moment, I would have to say, is going out in the community and being with somebody who's done it for a long time and having a mentor. A mentor is key. That's how you're going to succeed. I mean, you can go out alone. There's nothing wrong about that. But for me, going out with some and being in that moment and in that Christmas moment was something I will never forget, and I will hold it near and dear to my heart no matter who was with me, giving me inspiration, whether it was my two mentors or someone online that has said something to me that really stuck home, and I've taken it further. Oh,
There's Howie.
Hi, Howie.
Yeah, Howie says hi. Yeah.
Hi.
At least he did get a hi into you. All right. What was that one, Angela? When Mrs. Claus is not happy, Santa and all. Well, exactly.
Yep, keep Mrs. Claus happy. We're the first lady of Christmas. It's evolved so much with being with us. I mean, you guys have opened the door up for all of us to work with you, amazing men, and it's just amazing. Some people. Oh my God. So, it's just amazing, man. I love listening to all your stories, and all of it. I mean, I just take it all in and just feed from it, and we are so blessed to be with you guys, as Mrs. Claus or a solo Mrs. Claus. We learned from the best, you guys.
Well, you're marvelous, darling.
So, thank you. So, yeah. So.
Mrs. Claus, what was that? I didn't catch that one either, Angela. Oh, okay, for the Mrs. Claus class in Honey Grove. Okay, she put that up. All right. Okay, so I think we've moved through most of the comments now. Let's go ahead and move on to the POV. She's going to run the banner lead in, and we'll come right back. All right, Robin, you have the floor.
Okay, so what I would like to tell the Mrs. Clauses is Don't be afraid. We are all the same. So we win. We have some wins. We have some fails, but I know I had a few of them myself. Talk to other Mrs. Clauses and even Santas. They're wonderful in the Christmas community, and we can all draw something from their knowledge. The biggest thing I can say is to be yourself. Don't try to be that person you see on Facebook or you meet at an event or a school. Each of us are different, and we are not alike, just like snowflakes. We are not the same.
That is great advice, great words, and so true in so many ways. Okay, so now let's reveal tonight's trivia answers, and we'll go out to the sponsored Sleigh Driver Apparel in the Santa Claus 2. What artist is paired by Molly Shannon during her song "I Feel Like Some Christmas"? That answer is Shania Twain. Shania Twain. And for Spangles, stuff for Santa.com, schoolofsantas.com. We were looking for, in the Polar Express, Billy lives close to Hero Boy. We was looking for the full address for Billy. That is 11344, and that is actually said 113 and 44 is the way they put it in the movie. Ed Brook Avenue in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay.
And I didn't even know that.
You know what? These it's an art to research, and some of these trivia questions that we come up with aren't actually on a site where you go and look for trivia questions. We've went through so many of those that now I'm kind of digging and trying to find things that haven't been asked before, and that was one that we threw in because we figured those water bottle labels was worth something hard.
Oh, that was hard.
All right, Robin. So we always like to ask our guests, towards the end of the show, what's next? You got anything planned for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm actually going to sign up for a gig salad for more opportunities. And I'm actually going to look into becoming a 501c3 because I'm so passionate with working with these nonprofits, and I feel like that's something I want to go do. So if anybody knows anything about it and can give me some guidance, I would be more than happy to listen and get your feedback. I don't even know how to do this, but so you can reach me at mrsclausri@gmail.com, and I would appreciate that totally, because I know there's a lot of people out there that do it, and I'm sure they'll have some knowledge that they can pass on to me that can be helpful.
Yes, your email will blow up. I'm sure lots of folks want to help.
And I'll be kind. So, I'm on vacation this week.
Yeah, she is, by the way. She's on vacation this week, and she's got the time. So there you go. That's an invite. Everyone send her a word of advice and help her out there with her needs with the gig side of the 501c3 that she's wanting to start. Okay, Spangle.
All right. Well, Robin, we want to thank you, and we want to thank you for being our sister in this big red suit family. And we want to thank you for coming to the Tuesday Night Live show and for sharing your story. We appreciate you for that.
I'm happy. Yes. Oh, Keith Carlson. Yes, that's my brother. Yes, I have reached out to him about that. So.
Yeah. Keith knows all about it with his nonprofit that he runs down there, and great resource there. You take advantage of that one for sure.
Oh,
Robin,
yeah, I will call him.
Yeah. Thank you, dear, for a
Thank
great
you.
interview, and keep up the good work. I mean, what you're doing
Thank
is
you.
so noble, working with cancer patients and the pharmaceutical and, the different corporate events that you do and all the things you do. And, hey, keep Howie on a tight leash. Don't let him get too far out there.
Oh, no. Oh,
We want to give a big thanks to our sponsor, Derek Dugan, Sleigh Driver Apparel, also StuffForSanta.com and SchoolOfSantas.com, Spangle the Clown. Our recorded videos can be seen on our Facebook groups as well as our YouTube channel at the Tuesday Night Live Show. Remember, folks, we couldn't do this without all of you. Thank you for watching. Remember to join us for our next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central, same Claus time, same Claus channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Have a blessed week. Until next time, on behalf of Spangle, Angela, Robin, myself, I'm Santa Bob McMaster saying good night. Thanks to all. God bless.
Thank you.